I'm back. I'm fed. I'm watered. Let's get sad and finish this off. Oh, Maddie! Maddie! There's no evidence. There's no evidence that I ate my dinner in even remotely as upsetting a manner. I ate my dinner in a very normal way.
Tell them what you did with the potatoes.
And definitely didn't spill any potatoes from the oven all over the floor.
They're giving you shit for how you ate your dinner, and you're like, no, I ate my dinner in a normal way. You have to tell them that you dropped every potato on the floor.
I did not every potato on the floor. Half the potatoes.
More than half.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I know, Maddie. I just, because I just, there we are. It's back now. Right.
Enjoy your sadness.
Yeah, I will.
Sorry I can't join you, but I haven't played the game yet.
No, that's fine.
Spoilers.
This bolt action .4.46 caliber Triangle is the poor man's sniper rifle. While not the most reliable of firearms, it is relatively precise due to a very manageable recoil, thus allowing the shooter to take multiple consecutive shots fast. This particular piece is missing a scope, though. Water rushes below, far down below. A firing slit. You can't see inside. The reeds sway strangely. No, it's nothing. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain.
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in. In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
Why?
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you. Where it has always been. In front of the video rental, on the corner, at the crossing. Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal.
But it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
No.
Yes. No, we're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. The inside of the fortress, you make out the console and the blast door. The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with Dramamine. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
Tio Moteri are the ones we found at Land's End, remember?
Yes, this guy gets around.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar.
On the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
On the right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
And between the two.
The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Kim, with a pair of binoculars I will be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Kim, I could make it. I could make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Finally.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
You're right.
He looks north, over the fortification, then at the mattress. Then again, his face twitches. He's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment to rationalize it away.
Lords of Capital. What do you want?
One more time, Mr. Dross, the Colonel. We need to talk to you about you killing him.
Petty bourgeois law.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him again. Pile it on him.
We done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
It's the best The view was perfect. With a pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I wonder what brand of boots you wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Dross.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Corbeil, and the size is 43. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
A young woman named Clausia. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Clausia.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
Oh, shit. Sorry. What's it? Bloody hell. What's going on here? Sorry, everyone. He was a rapist, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep.
Wrinkled up whore.
What is it with these whores and pederasts? Aren't you a communist?
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters. So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole. It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
Moving on. The victim arrives sometime after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and messed phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites.
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood. To punish her.
How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on a ghost? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Semonine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
This is the hidden boy she told us about. You looked into it.
After she was gone.
Did you keep the documents in it?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
And you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
it quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating
Did you make that hole?
with a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see her through a window? On a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in rags. Those were your footprints there. You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake.
This has got nothing to do with that.
It's no good, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. It smells of burning buildings. The old man raises his gaze. Something glimmers in the corner of his black eye. A bitter taste on his tongue.
You had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
What was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No,
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells.
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
Something put the thought in you. A compulsion.
What do you mean, put?
A brief flash of terror.
I just got this feeling from what you said. Do you agree?
Maybe. I I have these holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away. We don't know where she is.
Good for her. That girl kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, kept staring at the island. At night, crying or smoking on the roof, like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a seafort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heibelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place where, as the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? You could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put, of hatred.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
Ah, come.
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare.
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
That all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about the statue and nihilistic advertising agency people. Might be worth investigating.
You mentioned the Union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare a farce of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment? Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Doesn't Everard run the Union?
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
We're not the first people you've met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left, wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here.
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Dross, did you kill the Cranwell mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hang the man for them, but he's insinuating something.
There was something about the statue on the roundabout and syphilis.
Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
'Cause you forgot to take it down.
Forgot? The party had each of the 141 Philippian monuments detonated with plastic explosives. We were pedantic about carrying out the order. No. Some advertising cockroaches used their accumulated capital to erect a new, ironic version of it. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him. It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
It was you. You shot the statue. There was a bullet hole in his heart.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullet for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
That's it for the statue, then. Tell me, Mr. Dross.
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for it, too. Shared with the law.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
Bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She was a woman. She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Classia.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Why?
Because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled? Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
You shot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage. Different from the one he has for her.
nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
Huh.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
Okay then, that's that. But I know.
All you know is I saw it happen, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Her plump body, bobbing up and down in that canal like a cork. That chick yellow bag still on her, strangling her.
The same old freezing hatred. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
I'm glad we talked about this. Now,
Glad? It's all gone.
Josef Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenaire.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
You thought you heard something.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
We could all fit in the little boat.
Actually, no.
Does it have room for 3?
Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then, either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here.
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
Who watches him while I come back for you?
You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you?
What is this farce? This is a fucking farce. I can't.
Something is happening. Stop. Lillian, you could ask her maybe.
Maybe I can just ask that net pigger to watch him.
This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
No, listen. Listen now.
You could come back for me once you've taken him to the precinct.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
No need to be polite, I'll do it.
This world. What are you talking about? Is this us?
The wind is cold from the east. Your skin is crawling suddenly. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence. It's still there, an unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
A giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There is. I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If you can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Hello. I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. The faintest smell like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid. As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you.
Don't pray to me. I'm nothing.
The reed creature does not stop its stridulations. It towers above you, parting the reeds it emerged from. Tuft-like structures still rustle on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
Okay, Kim. Take the picture.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you. The sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well, in the shadow of this great statue of chitinous marble.
I got it.
For all time. The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a young vine. It's even a bit wet.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen. Don't say it. Are you sure? This may be the only chance you get to touch it. The arthropod towers above you, frozen in place. A twitch passes one of its hind legs as the limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing. A small shudder passes the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl eyes still glisten, mesmerized by the light passing its nervous system. There is some kind of countdown happening as it slowly processes the overwhelming brightness of the signal. The invertebrate is regaining control. The stimulus overloaded it. It's passing like an extended moment or a gallstone.
We got it.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
Tell me, What are you doing?
I exist.
I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
Fire. Burning.
Fire? Where?
On the horizon. Pale fire. This thing we're both sensing is coming to an end.
That is your problem. Nothing ever ends for me. There is only room for 2, maybe 3 pictures in my mind. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
Intruded upon? By what?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never burn.
You're the type of animal I would like to be.
Are you sure?
No. I'm not. Why are you asking?
Sometimes, when molting, I regrow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced a missing antenna.
That's cool.
No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk.
You don't have a foot there now.
Yes, thankfully someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again.
I am a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
I was born to detect you.
Yes. No one detected me for such a long, long time. For thousands of years. I dithered, out of sight. Trapped myself in greenery.
This is my masterpiece.
No one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective. Dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. Across the calm sea. The first in 1,000 years.
Is this a dream? What is happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this come from? All this around us, the world.
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
And all we can do is beat our fists against it. Day after day with no answer.
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molting, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash cans and boys.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Rebelshaw, district of Martinez, March 51. Yes,
Are you
I
poisonous?
have a startled display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry, it is only destructive over long periods of time.
The deserter. He's been here for a long time.
Are you the miracle?
No, you are the miracle.
How?
The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while you are extreme, all-engulfing madness. A volatile simian nervous system, ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
Wait, the Pale is human-made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Given enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Worse how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget?
Have I always thought this way?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
This is the gloaming I've been waiting for, ever since I woke up in the hotel room.
So, it is already happening. One day, one of you will close your eyes and sign, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
Then I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of.
I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you are the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it for the working class.
I will.
She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. Just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
What's that? In the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
What now?
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
This monstrous-looking bug-eyed ceramic helmet was in the phasmid's nest. It still has some reeds sticking out of it, and it smells of seawater. But it's otherwise wearable, if not exactly comfortable. Putting it on feels scary, somehow. A common 30mm sniper scope, attachable to almost any bolt-action 4.646 caliber. It uses an older style, non-dotted rangefinder reticle. Seaweed is still stuck on the lens and it suffered water damage from its time in the phasmid's dowry.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how could you not see the phasmid?
See.
Mr. Dras?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dras?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dras,
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Yes, you forget it's there.
Mr. Dras, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Has he? He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in its company?
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Dross.
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. with the help of a magpie phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
I'm gonna let you rest now, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength is all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker.
Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here, if we don't take too long.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army. The black and white army of the revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
RCM. Sounds like RCM, Revachol Citizens Militia.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May?
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. A mediocre athlete would pant from dragging around his body on a busted crutch. But not you. You're thinking about politics with blood dripping down your thigh.
What I'm hearing is, we descend from the glorious Revolutionary Army.
There were all sorts of groups and groupuscules back then. It doesn't really matter.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Forget about all this. There's a giant...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Wait, you're the man with sunglasses?
That's right. And you're bleeding.
No one else seems bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trond Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
What is this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets. Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
Was a shit kid.
You. Shit kid. That's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
I understand. Okay, God told you.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You aren't the man with sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Maybe if you hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realised I knew you.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to batter you up after you told us to fuck off.
Okay, I had that coming.
Had what coming? Not recognizing people you work with every day. Brain damage.
So, Trant Hiddleston turns out to be Special Consultant Trant Hiddleston.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I never said I wasn't Trent Heilerstam.
Wait, what was up with the kid then?
Mikhail? Mikhail is my son.
Oh yeah? What was up with all the interesting history spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also interested in the Feld building.
So what are you special consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
Duped again. No one's who they say they are.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Gardener, scab leader, this. Tell me at least you were who you said you were.
Yes, I'm still Kim Kisuragi, still a lieutenant from Prison 57.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
You mentioned a task force.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory. Who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn major crimes unit. There's you, me, Jude, Tron fucking Idlestown, and Guillaume baby.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Yeah, first, who's Guillaume Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Okay, so what does the unit do?
It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
They're your posse, or what remains of it. Hand-picked, hand-lost.
The 41st isn't...
Where have you been all this time? There was a mercenary tribunal.
God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Wait, so you let me face a squad of trained killers alone, just to teach me a lesson?
It wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we?
I said all those things. I'm not like that anymore.
Yes, you're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. I've heard this repentant shit a million times over.
None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, e-solar, pal, and so on.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically, you think I'm so poor I lost my memory?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory... I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
No, not like that. I'm not talking vrede for school here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
Something so sad happened to me that I couldn't be me anymore. It was a defense mechanism.
Psychotraumatic amnesia, Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I am. But you know what? I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying, or insane, or both.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before.
I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in a major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
I mean, line detective is good for now.
For now, I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the party? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. Yeah, just stand there. It's cool.
Really?
No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk.
Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
I got my badge right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. You juggle the badge for a second, unsuccessfully, and it lands on the ground, some 2 meters away. Ouch! You strained your elbow trying to catch that stupid thing. Damn it.
He found it. He found it, Jean. It's his badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
My gun is right here.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone.
I quit drinking. Forever. It's only me in this boring hellhole now.
I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then, huh?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry I smell bad.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Not taking her in was the right thing to do. She gave a vital clue that led us to the island.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself, in the head, or the fact that you're Evra Claire's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot and survived only because of his armor. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little odd.
You should yell something.
That's not a good idea.
Yes, let's let the big boys talk.
And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Hosiana.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia. He fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
Yes, the phasmid may have contributed to his mental state in some way over the years.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
The killer, Lilianovich Dross, we have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lily. His Lillian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old male. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something?
A strange psychosexual fascination. The result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way, way more.
It's more than that. A perfect folding mechanism. Like the phasmid.
perfect vaulting mechanism. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass in time.
The previous head of the Debeltiers Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything Union related, for political neutrality.
There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How did he know I found him?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
So what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who
Wait,
you are.
I have a few questions before we go. About who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
But before...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
A guerrilla soldier / gym teacher?
No, a regular one.
That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
The collection of foul sportswear I've amassed.
Your moves on the church floor, which honestly was just jump aerobics. Your use of the word graffito.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy. God, even this javelin throwing freak hair.
Oh god. Contact Mike!
Of course. Contact Mike.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy.
Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition. A 5,000 to 1 rank outsider.
Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
It is getting cold out.
When was this? When was I a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
You said in Coron, I was a gym teacher there.
Yes, you taught gym in Cour. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards. Coron is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field or the sports building.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Assel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
Why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
Okay. I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
Was her name Dora?
Yeah. Dora England, I think.
Not Dora Dubois.
So, we weren't even married?
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago? She was way before my time.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
6 years?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora England really tore you a new one. A big one.
Now I've heard enough.
So have I. You bitterly dropped Dearest Dora and really tore me a new one twice a week, I think. It comes up.
The special consultant glances at his wristwatch.
Okay. Am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No.
No, because the suspect seemed to think...
You're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
He would immediately backpedal out of it. I told you it's not that bad.
The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. Remember?
A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about this Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She is going to be over the moon.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. It says, tensions rise in Terminal YC in light of the Debardeurs strike in Terminal B. Among representatives of every industry in Coal City, you read.
Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I mean investigate. Come work in Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. Am crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
I'm ready.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, A square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
Right, now to read through a lot of messages. Thank you all who stayed with me till the end for that. There was so much more of that game left than I thought there was. Yeah. Right. Christ, okay. Kofi from Echo. Cheers for the final stream. It's been a real treat to watch. My good news today is that I finished a short story I've been writing. It's always been very hard for me to write endings for things, so I'm proud of myself. Do you have any advice for writing endings? Give yourself enough time to do it, and don't try and fit it all in 2 hours when it's clearly going to take 4. Kofi from Shiny Happy Goth. Thank you once again for all the lovely horrors. Please do actually get some rest. Well, we'll see. Kofi from Shivra28. I remember when you started the streams during the pandemic, they definitely helped me get through the hard times, and I'll always remember them fondly. Thank you. Thank you as well for joining, and from joining from all the way back then. Kofi from Eclipsed Sky. Glad I was here for the final regular stream. Just wanted to say thanks for all you've done the last few years. Kofi from Tempest Montgomery. Hi Johnny, I've been away on a vacation up north for an Arctic festival, but I'm so glad to be back to catch the stream, and the last one too. Thank you for the lovely voice acting and guiding us through this beautiful game. It's been a gift tuning in live. Happy holidays to you. Kofi from Silver Colour. Hi Johnny, I haven't been able to catch a stream live in a while, but I'm really glad I caught the last one. I want to thank you and chat and the mods, and Sasha and the cats for the amazing company and all the wonderful and funny streams all this time. Kofi from Grim Animator. Not great with words, so just going to reaffirm what everyone else is saying and say that the streams and all your and Sasha's work these past few years have meant a lot. Thank you and looking forward to what's to come. Go from Red Dead Zombie. Final Kofi. Not sure if I'll make it to the end because tired, so please save the VOD and have a lovely night. Hope the cooking is good. Thanks for the mods for all their hard work over the years and making Johnny say bingo bango every once in a while. Night night everyone. Sleep well. You sleep well too. Go from Retro Bagel. Dear Johnny, Sasha, mods, cats and chat. Thank you so much for everything these past few years. The games played and the chats have brought a lot of joy. I wish everyone all the luck and happiness going forwards. I hope to see you all again one day. Hey Aaron Corcott, I would have darkened your digital doorstep to the end of Godspeed on future endeavours and thanks for the fun times. They helped a lot. Kofi from My Pet is a Kaiju, so glad I could be here for the final stream. So I could tell you re-listening to TMA has been great for my social anxiety. Every time I want to isolate myself, I just think, like Peter Lucas would, and my fear goes away. Thank you for everything you do. Well, thank you for joining. Kofi from Honeybee Charm. Hello, because this is technically a completely new stream. I shall send a second last stream, Kofi. In all seriousness, though, I'm glad a break was taken, as I now have pie. Kofi from Haunted Coyote. Hi, Johnny. It saddens me that I only found out about your streams very recently, but I'm glad to have been there for the last one. I just wanted to thank you for everything you do. Your works rekindled the creative spark in me, which I thought I'd lost for good. Thank you. Thank you. Go from Hell Farewell. The final epic stream aligned with the end of DE will definitely get me staring at the ceiling for a while tonight. Thank you so much, Johnny and Mods, for everything. I hope you had as much fun as we did. It's been a blast. Of all the creatures I've met, you all are the kindest. Kofi from Varen. Hey, I've only been able to catch a few of your streams, but I've really enjoyed them. Thank you for the things that you do. I'm not super eloquent at the moment, but I wanted to say something, lol. Well, thank you for saying something. Kofi from Bloody Baroness Koss and Madness Creations. I hope you enjoyed Disco Elysium. What is something in the story / world that speaks to you? Honestly, all of it. It is... The way that the internal voices speak to you, I think, and interact with each other is... It really gets me, and just occasional moments. Yeah. And Kofi from Stomp. I jumped on the bandwagon late, but I'm very grateful to have been here for the DE streams. This may be my favourite game of all time. I'm very glad to have shared it all with you. Thank you, Johnny, Mods, and chat. Right, well, thank you all again for joining me for this most final of Disco Elysium streams. It has been lovely. If you want to follow what I do and what Sasha does, I'm Johnny Sims or Johnny Waistcoat on basically all social media, and follow MacGuffin and Company as well, MacGuffin and Co. or MacGuffinandCompany.com, at MacGuffinandCompany.com, where we put out like RPGs and tabletop role-playing games. If you sign up to the mailing list there, you will be able to keep up with pretty much everything we do as a company, and we generally put personal projects like, you know, new novels and that sort of thing on there as well. So follow me on all the various stuff, and you'll be aware of new stuff that comes out if it's related to Magnus, such as Protocol, or new book, which I'm currently doing edits for my third book, or if we release another Spectral Tales, or if there's more game stuff with MacGuffin. Follow us. Like, we're still very, like, we're not doing the regular streams anymore, but we're still very active and going to keep putting things out because, you know, it's our job. We got to do it to eat, and because it's lovely and fulfilling, and you people are wonderful to create for. Yes. Just to say, this is my final regular stream. I am still planning to do a Christmas Eve ghost story reading stream. And like, it's the same as with MacGuffin and Company. Like, I'm keeping the channel, I'm just not streaming on the regular. So there may still be occasional streams of things like the ghost stories, or I might do something on like next Halloween. I might play some spooky games, who knows. But those things will all be announced on, you know, the various socials beforehand. But for now, thank you very much. And as we say at the end of every stream, of all the chats I have ever met, you are the kindest. Good night.